Hi guys, welcome back to tutorial series. And in this series, I'm going to display you that how we can add new record. So far, you have seen that how you can display the records fetching from PHP REST API, and after that, you also watched in the last video that how the delete functionality worked, and also we worked on that delete function. In this section, I'm going to show you that how we can add a record from Angular. So far, we are adding the records directly from PHP MyAdmin interface. So of course, this is not the right way. Okay, so we have to provide the customer, the users, uh, you know, uh, the form from where they can add the record. So before that, it should work like this. And okay, so we need to write the code inside app.module.ts here. So let's write a mapping component. Then here will be add, then the add component that we have already created in the last video. Okay, so that means what happens here, this is the route alias which we are creating. So when we will hit this URL, then this component will be loaded. So let's now check how does it work. If I write here in URL is add, then it should open the form here. It's working perfectly. And also, as you can see, the bootstrap uh, is also working fine this time. So automatically the styles is get applied here. So now let's open this add component that we had created earlier. So let's get back to here. So this is the one. So what I'm doing, you can see there is no padding outside, so I'm going to apply padding so that it will look better. So go to style.css. Where is that? Style.css. This one. So let's close it. Class add main. Then right here dot add main padding 30px. So 30px padding is applied, and yet as you can see, the padding is taken from left side, top and bottom, and the right side also. So it looks better now. Now, our purpose is, or aim is, if the user inserted data here, then it should go into here. Because so far we are inserting directly from here, from PHP MyAdmin. So of course that is not the right way. So we will insert the data from here. In the first video, you have had already seen that if we write here something, for example, 5 or 3 or 8, then him on, then .com. If you click here, then you can see the data is passing from this HTML file to TS file. That means here it is passing here. Now we have to pass the same data to service, and from service it should go to PHP file insert PHP. So let's create a function here for setting, for catching the data here. So before that, uh, okay, so let's first create a function here. So actually the function is already here. So what I will do, I will call a service here, subscriber service here, and then pass the data to that service. So we need to create a function in service as well. So here in this service, student.service.ts file, we will create a function just like the get students for fetching, delete student for deleting. Now this time I will create a function called create student. So this is the function actually. Create student. Let's create a student. Then we are passing this form data here into this file. So let's now change the path to this one because our path is this one actually. So in sub.php, we will create this PHP file. So far we have not created that one. So let's go to there. Okay, but before that, let's get back to here and write a code for subscription of that function. First of all, we have to import our service here. Import student service. Student service from student service. And then there is something wrong here. Student service class name is student service. So this is capital here. Now this now it's fine. Again, we have to call this one also. This we have to apply one more dot here. Okay, and similarly, we will have to pass this service as a parameter inside our constructor. So we'll write here student. I'm writing this underscore so that both the name doesn't match, but it's not necessary. You can give its name whatever you like. So we'll write here private student service. Okay, so we created an instance of this service. Now the same service name we will write below. So here we have written this dot student service. That means this one, and then create a student. This is the service function which we have already created. This one, sorry, this one, and then this dot add from. In the first video, if you remember, this is the from alias that we had created, and then value we are passing here. Ultimately, this is the subscribe, that means we are subscribing this service and this function, and ultimately whatever response will return, it will display here in this data. After creating a new user, that means after adding new student, it will redirect to here list. It's not list actually. Our file name is view, so it will redirect to view. But before that, we have to import this router as well. So spell practice right like this. Be right here. So first we need to import this router here. Then we can write private router, and then this one. So after creating a new user, it will redirect to our view file. Now we have to go here and we have to create this insert function, insert file into PHP file. Now get back to PHP. So this is our insert.php file that we have created. So this is connection, and then this one, since our data is passing at JSON format, that is why we are using this file get contents so that we can get this JSON based data and store here. We are checking here if post data is fine or this one is empty. In that case, uh, there is no empty. In that case, it will JSON encode, JSON decode. If you remember, in case of uh, fetching in list.php, we had done JSON uh, JSON encode, but in this case we are doing here JSON decode because uh, now we are converting the JSON form from JSON format to uh, array format. So now in this one, the data is in array format. Now from here, one by one, we are storing here so that we can insert into our students table. This is fname, lname, and email uh, here. I mean these fields. So these are the fields: fname, last name, and email. So same field name we have provided here, and then if everything is fine, then that means this response code will return, or else this the error one. So now let's try to add a new record from here and see. Since its ID is auto increment, that is why I am not inserting the ID here, because the SID will automatically get increased one by one. So just I'm passing here fname, lname, and email. So of course this ID is not relevant here. It's not necessary, but by the way, uh, either we can keep it or we remove. So better, let's remove that. So where is our ID field? This one. So let's simply remove this, and we have to remove from here as well. It's not required here because we are passing only 3 data fields. So that's it. Now let's check it. So first name, .com. Now let's try to add and see the result. Yeah, it's ready perfectly. Now once again, let's try to add here a new record. And try to save it. Then as you can see, this one is also added and it is reflecting here as well. So now this time we don't have to insert the data from going to insert of PHP admin, but directly we can add from here. So now it would be really very fine if we can provide here somewhere add record, a button. So let's go to here, this add component, and simply create a div here somewhere, and then button, then add new student. Let's apply the CSS class button. This is bootstrap button, bootstrap css. uh, Memory. Let's see how does it look like. Inside of view. No, it must be inside of view actually. It won't be here. So let's open view.html. So actually it'll be here. Here. So if we click on this add new student, then it should take to our add form. So we have to write here code. So rather than button, we can also provide here a hyperlink. So we will write here the link. So it's now going to close here or is head, and then we will close A here. So it will look like button, but in fact it will be network. Let's see. Yeah, it's working perfectly. So similarly, in add student, if anyone wants to view, then we can write similar codes somewhere here in add component also, like this. Here we will write view, and here will be view student, view student. Sorry, it's just spelling mistake. Student. So here two, new student. Now let's go to here and check. If anyone wants to view here, then directly he can go. And if anyone wants to add a new record, in that case, here he will go to form and he can, or anyone can write student name. As you can see, it is showing the error perfectly as well. So hope you like this video and you understand this. So before that, let me recap it. How does it work? We have created this form in the first video. So if you have not, if you have missed the first video, then please check the first video where we had created this form. So we had created alias of this form and also provided this validation, and then the data is passing here in this submit button. So where is that? It is here, submit. So the form is submitted here, and then this is reactive form. So we have created here form instances, and apart from that, we have also write it here restriction or validations that how our data will be validated. So uh, these names and these names, the form control name should be same as I had told in the first video. So ultimately, then this service is called the student service that we have created, and instead that we have created one function called student create a student. Inside that we have passed this value, and ultimately after adding the record, it is redirected to view file. So this is our service file where we are passing the data into the PHP file, and ultimately inside the PHP file the data is inserted here. The JSON format data is passed. So first we get this as a JSON format and convert it from JSON format to array format, and from array we are taking one by one, and ultimately we are inserting all the data into our MySQL database. So this is the way it works. So hope you like the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video because the last part, and that is edit section, is remaining. So in next video I try to show you that how we can edit the record. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.